Yo, what up, what up? For HYPEBEAST Radio, this is Manny, and this is Soundcheck, a show that looks to discover the origin story of your favorite artists and major players in the music industry. We ask the questions that you always wanted to get answered, and you never know who may pop by. Don't forget, we will very soon be separating the 3 shows on Hype Radio, so you will have to go and individually subscribe to the shows you want to listen to. Search and subscribe right now to the HBR show, Business of Hype, and Soundcheck on HYPEBEAST Radio or Hype Radio to keep listening. Do it now so you don't miss any episodes. Okay, let's get into this week's episode. For the season 2 finale of Soundcheck, we talked to Nick Kenan about the importance of Wildin Out, the music industry, comedy during the cancel culture era, the Arsenio Hall show, and so much more. Welcome to Soundcheck. This is going to be a really exciting episode because, like I said, I'm a big fan of yours.
I appreciate it.
And I feel like I'm old enough where I've seen like your career path, like beginning to end.
Yeah.
Well, I remember seeing you on television to now. You're like, do everything. Like the businessman to the extreme, the businessman to the T. So I guess I want to start with music. Yeah, cause that's what you're working on currently right now.
Absolutely.
And it's been 4 years since I would say your last full-length project.
Yeah, totally. I've been dropping mixtapes and producing and signing people and stuff like that, but it's really getting back into the artistry and really just as someone who's like you said, like a fixture in entertainment. Like I do so many different things, but gradually getting to that point to where I'll put out an album from me, but I feel like it's more about establishing and providing for these other young people, and then I'll get to the album stuff. Yeah.
You know, it's so funny when you say that because as someone who's seen you, you were always considered like the young person, but now you're the boss.
Yeah, right.
As soon as you said that, I was like, man, I remember. like
that means we getting old, man.
So I guess So this is more of just providing a platform from the artists that you have.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, because I don't like to toot my own horn, but I've opened up the doors, or I've created platforms for a lot of different entertainers, and I feel like that's one of my strong callings, and utilizing my own talents to make way for other people's talents is really solid. I mean, when you think about people like Quincy Jones, Dr. Dre, these dudes are people that, I admire and look up to and have done that, effortlessly throughout their career. So I try to model after that, and I could be a star in my own right, but that's not really what my goal is. My goal isn't to get out there and be in front of the camera on the mic all the time, even though I do that stuff, pretty well. It's just more about let me create these platforms.
Who are the artists that you sign, and what and then how did you find them?
A lot of people. I mean, a lot of people don't know. I mean, obviously, everybody you see on Wildin Out, that's when you see how we moved there and the careers that have shaped over the last couple of decades from comedy to rap to all, I've that platform in itself, I think, it doesn't get enough credit currently because it's so current, but when you step back and look, from the early 2000s to what we're doing today, the amount of entertainers and artists that we've been able to help in that on that level and actually shift and control the conversation in hip hop comedy. We did that with the best of them. But then also, artists that are popping right now, shouts out to her, who's nominated, for 5 Grammys. I signed her when she was 9 years old. You know what I mean? We've been rocking, with her for quite some time, and to see her, it's funny calling her the whole time. But to see the efforts and the hard work paying off. It's funny, I put her on Nickelodeon, when she was a preteen. And obviously, I think people know the story of, Kehlani. So many other artists that, even on this current project that I'm getting ready to release at the top of the year, we got a lot of hot new artists mixed in with, established artists that, people are from Quavo to Ty Dolla $ign, all of these people who, are running the game right now that, came to rock with the Ncredible gang. Yeah.
How does a new artist catch your eye?
Man, it's so easy, honestly. Be hot. buzz, be different, be unique. You know, I'm one of those dudes where I keep my ear to the streets. So if you breaking through the clutter, I'ma see you. You know what I mean? But if you just doing what everybody else is doing or going about it the same way or sounding like somebody else, I'll probably see you, but I'm not going to take the time to be like, yo, that's something special there. So just be special. I always tell people are like, yo, I'm trying to get on. It's like, if you perfect your craft, you don't have to try to get on. You gon' get on. Yeah. You know what I mean? I know there's a lot. It seems like it's so difficult, and it's like, that means you're not done cooking yet. You know what I mean? If you really feel like you as great as you project, then it's gonna happen for you. Yeah. But until then, you're not sacrificing enough. You're not going hard enough, because the people who really go hard and really sacrifice, they get what they want out of life. Yeah. Yeah, facts.
And it's something like that, and it's that simple advice. It's so true, because like, especially now with the internet, everybody's accessible to upload music onto the web now.
Exactly.
And so
even playing field.
Exactly. And so the whole, if it's good, if you perfect your craft and if it's good, people will follow. It's so true, because that does happen. Yeah. And so I guess, how did, for somebody who would be like, that's so busy doing a lot, like, where do you go to, I guess, to find music? Or
I mean, I'm all over. I mean, but the simplest places: SoundCloud, YouTube, you know, Instagram. Those are the places where if you popping on those 3 platforms, you're gonna be truly popping.
Instagram is starting to become like a place where I see a lot of new artists get their little, I guess, some attention, and it's like legit, because it's weird, because it's be like a snippet that just go viral, and then it just pops everywhere.
And then you want to hear more. You're intrigued. You know what I mean? It's like it's a fishing pond. They catch you, and then like, all right, now reel me in. And if you got some substance, you gonna pop. It's an artist that I'm super excited about. That the first place I saw her was on Instagram. Her name is Chica. And she's the way I felt about her, the way I felt about Kehlani, the way I felt about a lot of these people is like, I got that same vibe. Like, yo, she about to go. And it was just really off. She was just did a Insta story, you know what I mean? Freestyling, just in her room, like off the laptop. And I was like, yo, she's fire. Yeah. And it's just really just from somebody tagged me, scrolling through, and it's just as simple as that.
I want to touch on Wildin Out, because I think when it's said and done, when we look back, that's going to be like, it could be like the TRL, like awesome, like that type of impact, because I feel like it opened up a lane that I don't think people even realized was there. Yeah. Like, not just for battle rap, but for comedy, but for music, just like another,
and for just being able to be like free to speak.
Exactly.
And free to say what you want to say. Like, I feel like it's the most progressive show on television. Like, it doesn't get the credit to where we'll have somebody from the LGBTQ community battling somebody who's homophobic. You know what I mean? And you really, like, you've never seen anything like that, and then to everybody hug it out at the end of the day. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, and I think hopefully, you know, people will use that as a case study in the future to show how people from different walks of life who embrace their own differences can come together and still engage with each other in a positive way. Yeah. Yeah.
How did that, you may have told this story, but I was looking for it, but I guess I want to get like, tell me like exactly how this idea became close. Was it like you in the crib, were you watching battle rap and you're like, hey man.
You know what I mean, battle rap wasn't what battle rap was when we created Wildin Out. I almost want to say I birthed a lot of that culture, because you know we created Wildin Out before 8 Mile and all of that. You know, and it's just obviously we gonna take it all the way back to even where I got the term Wild Style from. The first hip hop film ever created, it was Wild Style, and you had, you know, Busy B in there getting down, and you know everybody knows about the infamous battle between Busy B and Kool Moe Dee, which is technically supposed to be the first ever, at least documented hip hop battle, and I just took that energy, man, you know, that cypher energy, to where it's like, yo, even as comedians, even as rappers, before we go and perform on stage, we start a cypher. That's how we warm up. You know, we go back and forth. We start, you know, freestyling. And then from that is, you know, it was me, Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, D. Ray Davis, guys that just, you know, have a good time. And I was like, yo, somebody should film this. And at the time, I was the one with the juice. I was the one with the bag. So, you know, I rented out the comedy club, brought some cameras in, and shot a pilot and sold it to MTV. And that's because, the rest was history. Now we hundreds of episodes later and everybody is rich and famous.
Yeah. Like legit got people bags.
Yeah. Like millionaires.
That's why I think the impact is so crazy because I feel like there's sort of a glass ceiling sometimes, especially when it's urban entertainment. There's look, you can be really good, but this is the only space for you. Like you don't fit to a pop culture space that can get you to the next national household name.
Yeah, fact.
But with Wildin Out, it allowed these battle rappers, hey, you can come over here and really do something, get some interesting space.
And it's cool.
Comedians, artists, actors, separately.
Yeah, and it's funny too because even when we started doing it again, because obviously I took a little hiatus, I went and got married and all of that. But then I saw the battle rap culture kind of just take off with the smack battles.
Yep.
I was like, man, that's that vibe. And I saw how talented those dudes were. And I was like, man, everybody from Hitman Holla, Conceited, like Charlie Clips, like, yo, these dudes are next level talented. Like not only being able to captivate an audience, not only to be able to put words together, but just have that spirit, that fire, that warrior mentality, but know how to control it. You know what I mean? Like to be poised like that, like politicians don't even move like that. Like when you see the ability of the battle rap community, how it could be so much aggression, it could be so much tension, but these dudes are so gifted with how they move and how poised they are. I was like, yo, that inspired me to even take Wildin Out to another level because I was like, yo, if they could do that, they can easily be host television. They can easily act. They can easily put out records. So I think even, that myth of that battle rappers can't put out hit records, we about to dispel all of that as well too, because I'm giving all of those cats opportunities to shine and signing them up as well.
Mm-hmm. I can only imagine like the stories you had over the couple of years from like stuff that just you saw that just happened during Wildin Out. Is there like one particular you're like, man, that's funny, or I can't, like, damn, that was a crazy moment Wildin Out?
Yeah, I mean, every episode is like that. I mean, obviously we don't hide much. I mean, everybody saw the Azalea Banks episode. We let that play. Only thing, it was a lot longer. She was up there crying a lot longer. It was only 22 minutes, so we had to, But I mean, even in that sense, I mean, like me having to have a real conversation with her, take her backstage, her coming back out and holding her own and finishing the show. Like I always commend that. But it's stuff like that happens every episode. And we just it's not as intense. And she was the one, like, we would have never even talked about what happened with Azalea Banks. She went home and put a battery in her back and start, wilding for real. But there's some of your favorite rappers, get nervous and I gotta go talk them off the ledge, and that happens at least once a day. We shoot about 2 or 3 episodes a day, so and it is intimidating because we clicking on all cylinders for real. Like them cats is super talented, and if you're not used to that, you walk in there and you're a little taken back with how smooth everything moves and how fun it is. And that's why we have the bar and we get everybody, feeling good and relaxed, and then you never know what happens after that.
Was there ever one that was like, holy shit, I gotta step in and like this should be getting too tense?
It does every time. Like if you see my reactions based off of, I'm always looking out for the guests because I never want them to get hit too hard. Yeah. So I'm always like, I gotta hold back DC Young Fly, I gotta hold back Carlos, I gotta let back in the day the Corey Holcombs and the D-Rays and the Cat Williams. Sometimes like, don't go so hard on them. You know what I mean? I remember the one time that when Kanye first came on, everybody was like, yo, say whatever you want to say. Just don't say nothing about his cheeks. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause he's still a little, the car accident was still fresh. You know what I mean? First thing, one of the cast members, your chipmunk cheeks. Was that from like holding in Jay-Z's jizz? I was like, whoa, no, that's exactly what he said don't do. But then Kanye was a pro and just kind of took the whole team down. So it was dope.
Nice. I definitely read you're going to late night television.
Yeah.
Which is exciting because I guess I would ask, what made you think about that?
I mean, it's always been a dream, man. I'm a cat that, I came up in the Arsenio days, man.
Just there you go. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wasn't even allowed to watch Arsenio Hall, and I would get in trouble because I would like stay up late and like forget school and all that just to watch Arsenio. And my dad, the punishment he would give me for that, it was like, all right, you want to be like Arsenio? Well, I'm gonna put this camera in front of you. I want you to write out 100 questions, and I want you to interview everybody in the neighborhood if you want to be like Arsenio. I was like 11.
That's interesting. Wow.
So like knowing that, like, and even having that conversation with Arsenio as like a few months ago or whatever, he was like, man, yo, you poised for this. He's like, I'm comfortable passing that torch. I was like, man, that's an honor for him to even say that. So it's kind of cool to know that, I don't know what it'll be. It could be anything. I mean, the landscape is totally different today, but just the fact that I got that opportunity to kind of get out there and do something different, because it's a very vanilla and homogenized landscape in late night right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can drop in and put some sauce in there.
Yeah, because I don't know, because late night, it just hasn't really been. It's just, I don't know.
It's not exciting no more.
Yeah,
man. I mean, shouts out to everybody who's doing what they do, but they all doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, you go to this one for laughs, you go to this one for a skit, and then you go to this one to ride in a car.
Exactly. To sing karaoke. So I mean, and they do it all very well, but I think like, me, I'm very outspoken. I say what I want, and that, everybody's so politically correct right now. We got to do away with all of that, and it comes from a place where if you know what you're talking about, and if you're coming from a place of trying to bring people closer together, you can't go wrong. That's what we doing with Wildin Out. Like there's so many crossing the line jokes and content that we do over there, but because we're all friends, we're all family, we're allowed to do it. And I commend MTV, Viacom for being brave enough to do it, and I think a lot of other organizations and platforms could take a page out of their book and see that as like, yo, they're doing it the right way.
Yeah. Do you, like, I guess as also comedians yourself, do you like, is it worrisome now about I guess the climate? Because I feel like it's
not for me. I'm excited. I every time somebody comes at me, I'm like, bring it, because I'm from the school of George Carlin. I'm from the school of Dick Gregory. I'm from the school of Pryor, to where the purpose of comedy is to hold up the mirror to society and say, look at us. That's what satire is. And when people get scared because they're so worried about losing money, I got money. I don't care. Like, you gonna come take it? Like, you know what I mean? I'm built different in a way where, I think it has a lot to do with, growing up, how I grew up, in the type of environments, and then even dealing with like my own health and stuff like that. Like, I almost lost my life so many times. I'm like, man, what you gonna throw at me? Like, death couldn't, like what you gonna go harder than death? Like, so I'm not moved by people's opinions. I'm not moved by people threatening to fire me. Fire me, I don't care. I've been broke before, and it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? Like, and I know how to hustle up and get whatever I need. So I guess I move in a different way than most individuals, and a lot of this game has taught me how to move. You know what I mean? Through a lot of chinks in the armor, and through the process of just understanding what being solid is. I think a lot of people focus too much on getting money than focus on growing their character and being solid. Yeah.
That goes to my next question, because you're definitely one that's like, look, you definitely be like, oh yeah, this is not for me, so I'm gonna pass on this. How do you know how do you make that business decision?
First of all, I don't think of it business wise first, because I know, because the bag's gonna come, the money's gonna come. It's like, what makes you sleep easy at night? You know what I mean? And sometimes I'll do some silly, ridiculous stuff, because I was like, yo, I just wanted to do that. It's fun. Like, I'm hosting The Masked Singer now, because I was like, yo, this is fun. My grandmother's really going to like this show. My kids are really going to enjoy this show. And then I'll make sure my bag is right after that, because I know they want me. You know what I mean? It's not about me trying. I gave up that energy of trying to be accepted and trying to get a job from somebody. I don't care. I don't go to auditions. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, the people who do it, I salute you and I respect you, but I'm more excited. I'm more driven by creating my own opportunities. I'll go buy the rights to someone's story, or option a book, and develop the script, and the directors I want to work with, I'll hire them. You know what I mean? Or I'll be my own, like, it's those type of, I want to create a show. All right, so how much money is it going to take to get the attention to create this platform. So I'm in that space now. I'm blessed enough to be in this space. You know what I mean? I understand there's a lot of people who aren't in that space, but now I'm in a place where I can produce whatever I want. I can sign whoever I want. I could work with, just out of the right conversation. I could pick up the phone and get anybody on the phone. And that's because I've been doing it so long. So, I feel like, now I can flex my muscle just a little bit to do the projects that have substance. And it wasn't always that way. I was still the kid on Nickelodeon that had to dress up in a dress. I would probably do things completely differently now, now that I'm a grown man and have a different perspective on it. But I had fun with that. That was part of my journey. Yeah. And I was always able to stay true to myself.
Yeah. I think, two things come to mind. One, the Mask contest show looks crazy. Yeah. I was like,
it looks ridiculous, right?
That definitely looks interesting. I want to check that out. And two, I think is the journey. I guess we'll come full circle. Is that like you got to this point because of your decisions along this journey, and it's paying dividends. Yeah. Like I guess during your come up, like what was some of your thought process when you making these moves?
Yeah, I mean, just being honest, being true, being authentic, man. At the end of the day, people would, whether they was making corny jokes or whatever, or not really understanding who I was, one thing you can never dispute is that I've always been me. I've never tried to, march to the beat of anybody else's drum, pardon the pun. But, like, I've always just did my own thing. Like, at certain times, with certain decisions, be like, nah, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that movie. I don't want to do that TV show. Nah, I'm quitting. Like, it was just because that's how I felt. And it was because I came up under guys who move like that. I came up under Dave Chappelle. I came up under Will Smith. Like, these are dudes who showed me the way. And then, once I got in the game, people like Harry Belafonte, Dick Gregory, Quincy Jones actually sat down with me and was like, yo, if you really want to be a leader, if you really want to be a boss, this is how you do it. And I just been, paying attention to their blueprint.
Mm-hmm. And then I know we're running quick on time, but I definitely want to act as a fan. Yeah. House is the real husbands of Hollywood will ever come back again?
We always talk about we were supposed to do a movie about that, and
that show was genius.
Yeah, I think we might do it. I mean, obviously, me and Kev always in the news doing stuff, so that's my best friend, man. Like, honestly, so to be able to rock with your best friend in the game and be able to be as silly as we are on Real Husbands and go back and forth on Instagram talking shit about each other, like it's dope to have somebody that you could share success with, and I can have his back, he can have my back, and it's straight, all the way to the gate with this one. That's my man. So hopefully we'll get to do some more Real. Hopefully we'll be like 60 years old and doing real old bastards of Hollywood.
Nice. So thank you for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate this. This is awesome.
No doubt. Appreciate you.
That's today's episode of Soundcheck, and thanks for tuning in. You can listen to more episodes of Soundcheck and keep up with everything HYPEBEAST Radio at hypebeast.com/radio. Subscribe to Soundcheck on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Overcast, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts on. Feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at ECM_LP and follow HYPEBEAST Music for more original content and music news. Let us know who you'd like to have on the show, and thanks for listening.